It's amazing to me how, as a psychologist, you cut it so close. You remind me of another individual that I don't want to compare you to.
But I cut it close.
Yeah, but you don't leave yourself any room, any margin for error. And you're a psychologist, which means you're an on-timely kind of guy.
No, so I will.
And I don't want to hear any excuses.
No, that's not rationale. No. I'll explain to you my faults. I'll tell you, this is my faults. It's not an excuse.
Let's just set the table. You live about 5 minutes away, tops.
Yes.
Okay. So,
yes, I live actually 4 minutes
away.
And
to your benefit,
I live 4 minutes away. 5 minutes 5 minutes only if I get stuck on Caldwell Mill Road trying to get out. So, but yes, absolutely, I live 4 miles away.
Okay. So, and you're here at 7:30, and that's great. That's good. Ish.
Before this theme song ends.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to analogize this because I used to do this with a date.
No, I know.
Like, because when I go on a date, or I used to go on a date, you're very excited. You're very excited about seeing that person, right?
Yes.
And so you're like, I'll meet you for dinner at 6:30, right?
Right.
And you get there, and she's 2-3 minutes late, which is like it's a date, right? But that tells me something. That tells me she obviously had something going on, or she was running a little. And again, 2 or 3 minutes, couldn't get her makeup quite right. Everybody loves Raymond did an entire episode on this where he just left her. He's like, you know what? If you can't be ready on time, I'll just leave you. And of course, that didn't work out well for him. And so that's okay a couple of times.
Absolutely.
But then after, if we were dating every single night,
you'd be like, what's up?
Yeah, I go, what's up? I mean, because obviously, because I'm assuming you want to be on a date with me, and so you wouldn't, and you know how important that is to that person.
Yes.
Particularly when you have a room full of thousands of people watching the date or listening to the date.
Yes.
Just curious.
No, so
I love you. You're my best friend.
So do you think it would be weird if that date showed up? It'd be one thing if it was like later and later and later, and they were 10 minutes late, 15 minutes late.
Well, that has been that's the show used to start at 7.
Well, yeah, right. Look at that. So here's what happens.
Okay.
And this is a fault of mine.
Explain it to me. I want to hear it.
No, it's a fault of mine.
Yeah.
So, and part of this is going to sound like an excuse, but it's true. Yeah. I've done live TV once a week for a long time. Mm-hmm. And in live TV, right, you have a minute is an eternity. So I've always so I got in this weird habit.
Yeah, unless they tell you have a minute, and then
well, yeah, right. No, but I've got in this weird habit of I have like a 4:13 p.m. hit, and so at 4:06 I have plenty of time because nothing goes live till 4:13.
Yeah,
and it's this weird sort of thing that I've adopted, and I don't do that. Well, I actually do this in a lot of things.
See, now this is interesting because we will be on television on Thursday morning.
Yeah.
And we don't go on to about 9:37.
Yeah.
But at 9:31, you're freaking out.
Well, because it's technology.
Yeah, but we know how we've done it a million times. Yeah, so you're 6 minutes. You're 6 minutes early for that.
Plus, you make me nervous. You make me more nervous.
Yeah, but you're 6 minutes early for that. You're like, finish that up. We got to sit down. I'm like, dude, chill out. We got 6 minutes.
Because you make me nervous because I'm not by myself.
Oh, okay.
You make me totally nervous. I never know what you're going to do.
I love you, man.
So what I do is I literally pinch it down, and part of it is as well because I live so close.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking about like there's going to be 20 minutes of traffic on 280.
Well, and you never know what's going to happen because you have hit traffic here because it's school time.
That's right.
Okay.
And so what I keep doing is I keep inserting little tiny things that I need to do.
Yeah.
But I don't really need to do them before this.
You're right.
But I need to. I need to.
And we're all guilty of that.
I need to feed the cat. Right. I'm on my way out. I only got 4. It's only taking me 4 minutes to do this. Oh, crap! I forgot to put the dishes away. So what I do is I'm trying to cram in way too much before. I'm not checking the internet, I'm not like sitting there. And so then what ends up happening is, and Jules can attest to this, I'm like, oh shit, I only got 4 minutes to go. Go. And in fact, when I was going to text you, before I come out and drive, texting you, and then there was the whole line of traffic at my house.
Yeah.
And so I was starting to text before I got out of the driveway. I'm like on my way, and then I left the text going, the dictation.
Yeah.
Come on, people. That's what it said. Yeah. So that's my fault. I need to work on that.
Okay.
I'll work on that. But my ultimate.
Have you ever? Let me ask you this, because you're a psychologist.
Well, because a psychologist.
Like if someone came into you to talk to you, hey, listen, for some reason I can't. My mom was like this.
Now you're selling my wife.
My mom was like this. My mom, and I read this article from Psychology Today about how we shouldn't hammer on people who are always late. Now, you're not late. You're just not. Even when we have meetings with other people, you're rolling in right at the time of the meeting. And I am more like my dad, where I like to situate myself. And I'm getting my kids to be that way, too. Like for church, I'm like, it's nice to get to church before the priest is walking down the aisle. So you can just relax, take it in, meditate for a second, think about your surroundings, have pleasantries with people so you're not all... And you're sitting down, and now you're super great on your feet. You're the best of the best, and so you can pull this off. A lot of people can't do it. I only know a few people that can pull it off, and they do it all over and over and over again, where they just show up and they can pull it off, right? But most people have to kind of
absolutely,
bands get the stages 2-3 hours at a time. They have to have their regimen, their routine.
Absolutely.
And so I think it's because we all have people in our lives like that, and it's.
And I'm always running a.
Have you ever set your clocks ahead?
Oh, I always do.
Like your clocks are 15 minutes fast?
Not that fast.
Okay.
Well, actually, mine are randomly ahead. They're never behind, but they're randomly ahead.
My one in my car right now is 36 minutes fast.
That's too fast.
It was 20 minutes fast about a year ago, and it keeps picking up minutes
on its own.
Yeah, it's running a little faster than the Naval Academy time, whatever. And so now it's 36 minutes fast. And so now I'm so set on. It's great for math quizzes in the car. So I'm like 36 minutes, 23.
That's artificially like
it is,
needs to be like 12 minutes
but it creates that little sense of urgency for me. So I set my clock upstairs, everything upstairs, 10 minutes fast, and I'm never late. I'm never late.
I never do an exact number. I never do an exact number. I always put it like.
Well, snoozes are 9 minutes, right, or 6 minutes. The snoozes are weird, right? Right. But I mean, I set it ahead just a little bit, but I'm never late.
Right.
And there's one thing that we can never get back in life, and that's time.
So if you want to get super deep into my childhood, this is really interesting. See, only on this show. This is what makes our show different. Yeah. I had no intention about talking about this. This is like a therapy session.
Well, I didn't either.
So as a child, I was super paranoid about being late, to the point where, like, when we were in carpools, right, and there was somebody else's mom coming to pick us up, I would throw. And not temper tantrums, because I was like 10, 11 years old. I'd be totally pissed off if somebody's mom was late and we were going to get late to practice. Yeah. It just irritated me. Mm-hmm. And then as I got older, same thing. And in fact, it got worse. Come on. We got to be on time. And then when we had kids, there was this period where just by and I was fighting it. Come on. And when you have little kids, there's just so much shit happens that you just literally can't. Someone pukes, someone is have
to go potty.
So I started getting more used to, even though I was uncomfortable, because kids were great excuse. Well, we're sorry, had blowout diaper, sorry, had a temper tantrum. Okay, so that was my first step into like, all right, I can't always make everything on time. Second piece, this is deep, was when so the kids, and then when I was teaching at UAB. So when I was teaching at UAB, I mean, I was always there ahead of time in prep. Yep. And then I taught a few courses, and then I realized, wait a minute, class doesn't start till I get there.
Yep.
And so then I started not getting there 15, 20 minutes early. I'd get there like, 10 minutes early and be doing my notes. Then I was like, well, shit, I know how to teach this stuff. So I'd roll in 4 minutes early, right? Because everything was all set.
Yep.
And then I realized, well, we're going to take breaks and stuff, and I got a little more time. So sometimes I'd roll in right on time, maybe a minute after class started, just a minute. Mm-hmm. And then I realized, okay, if I can't remember the time, if it's like 15 minutes and the professor doesn't show up. So for fun, I would like show up like 5 minutes late.
Yep.
I was ready. I would show up 5 minutes late. Then it got worse. Then I started getting into more of a position of power, where they were my meetings, and then I realized, well, the meetings don't start until I get there.
Yeah.
So if I get there 5 minutes late,
so you're wasting the time of the people that showed up on time.
Yes, and it's terrible.
Yeah.
It's absolutely terrible.
It is terrible.
Now, I never, and you've seen me here, never, if I've got whatever, if it's a 7:30 meeting, you will not see me here at 7:45 ever, unless, God forbid, something happens. Or if I get so. So it's always within this 15 minutes. But yes, it is like gone to my head that I have sort of control within reasonable expectations.
And do you think that's something that you need to fix, or is that something that you're good with?
No, it's totally bad.
Okay.
It's totally bad. And because most of it is driven by, it's not an ego thing like I'm sitting around twiddling my thumbs. I'm sitting out there, I'm going to walk in 5 minutes late. It's me trying to not quite multitask, but cram. I try to cram. Try to get way too much stuff in. My wife tells me this all the time. That's why you're right, because you're trying to do too much.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Stop doing that.
I'm working on that.
Okay.
I'm working on it.
Are you?
Well, yeah, today.
Okay, tomorrow morning, 7:25.
No.
Show your love for me and tell me you're going to be here. Well, tomorrow we'll be off. Thursday morning, 7:25.
Yes, I can do it. Do you know what's?
I want a text. I don't want no foot thing. I don't want a refrigerator. I want no air conditioning issues. I want nothing.
Yep.
Get up 5 minutes earlier.
I'll be here 7:25 Thursday morning.
Okay. Do that for me.
Yes.
Okay.
Just trying to think.
Because what that tells you is you can be on time every time, right on the button. But I always say Opie. You know, my whole moniker is Opie, and I used it on my previous show.
No, I know
because we had issues with it, and I was guilty several times as well. OPE, on time, prepared, engaged. If you're on time, and I didn't read that somewhere. It's just something I thought of. Opie, yeah, Opie. Well, and I love Opie. I have a story about Ron Howard today, by the way.
That's really you really
Opie, on time, prepared, engaged. If you're 2 out of those 3 things, you may be able to pull it off.
Right.
If you're on time prepared, you can pull it off. If you're prepared and engaged, you can pull it off. If you're prepared and on time, you. But if you have all 3, you rarely fail. We all have bad days. We all have times where our Mausers ain't working or whatever your job is, and it's just not working for you. But if you're missing 2 of those things, you are destined to fail. You can be engaged, and if you're not on time or prepared, the people you're working with are going to go no. Yep. And again, I think about, I used to go out with this girl. She was always late. And I was like, do you not want to be with me? She's like, no, I want to be with you. I'm like, okay, well, I'm here at 6:30 and you're getting in at 6:35. And they kept getting later and later.
Yeah.
And then I'd find her out in the car on the phone and I'm going, what's going on? She's like, honey, we've been dating for 6 months. What's the big deal? And I'm like, why are we even setting a time? Well, why don't I just say around 6:30 then or 7 o'clock? And she couldn't understand because I was sitting there all and ready because I couldn't wait to see her. And I'm like, don't you want to see me? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, well then start acting like it.
Yeah, no, you're right.
You know what I mean? Because this is my time. So, it's interesting because it is a psychological thing. There is a lot of people that can't get past it. They can't get through it. And there's a whole, and I'll pull the article up for you. It's really interesting because I always thought, my mom was always late because she always wanted to be the last one to show up. And it would drive my dad crazy.
Well, and that's different.
He would lie to her about when things, it's 5:30 when it was really 6. And she was still late.
Yep.
It was like she figured it out. Okay, he's using 5:30 because it's really 6 o'clock. And we'd still get there at 6:15. And he's like, damn it, even when I told her it was 6. So, but my mom did it for a different reason.
That's a different reason. And neither of them are right, but that is a very different reason. Like I said, mine is this sort of trying to get...
You're a busy guy. You got a lot of stuff going on. And I love the fact that you do the show. Don't get me wrong.
But the stuff that I do is not... It feels, this is an interesting thing because I see this with my clients. They say to themselves, I need to do this. I should do this. I just got to do this.
Yeah.
That's an anxiety or a stress driven perception.
Yeah.
Because you got to put your pants on.
Yeah.
You got to drive carefully. You must, I don't know, you must approach cautiously, whatever. You don't have to empty the dishwasher before you go. So there's a lot of these sort of small things that we call them, I told you, that Albert Ellis used to call them masturbations. I must do this. I have to do this.
Masturbations, I like that.
Isn't that great?
That's good.
And that was him. He was from like the 50s.
That's good.
He used to, you would love rational emotive therapy. He used to basically, his whole idea behind it was that people had these really irrational beliefs. And it wasn't that he believed he was greater than anybody, but he was like, this is what gets people in trouble. Yep. I have to do these things. The world is going to think. So what he would do is when he did therapy, he would listen to people talk and they would say, well, I have to be I have to look beautiful for my husband, or I have to have all the dishes thing, or I must do this. And he would say, excuse me, you must? Now you're engaging in masturbation.
Oh, I love that.
It's a little throwback to Freud. It was a little FU to Freud.
No, I love it.
But I do that, and a lot of people do that. And I'll tell you who does that more than anything else. We have this with women in the workplace. I must be completely competent in my job, and I must be a mom who is as good as all the stay-at-home moms.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Well, but it's a belief. It's an absolute.
Oh, I know
belief,
it.
so.
I know it is. We got a lot to get into this morning. I love you.
No, now I feel guilty.
No, don't.
And guilty is okay. I don't feel shame. I feel guilt. You guilted me, which is good.
Yeah.
Because guilt prompts behavior change.
Well, I want you to want me.
Shame.
I want you to be
that
here.
makes me feel guilty.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Now, if you told me that I'm a piece of crap and that I'll never amount to anything because I'm not on time, now you've shamed me.
You've obviously amounted to something.
No, but that's really good. Now, that's a very healthy thing. Yeah. Oh, my God, the show is so good. If people would listen to the show all the time, their whole lives will change.
I'm glad I could return the favor. There's your therapy for today.
Okay, good.